Have you ever felt that you are in need of money or you are spending too much of your income and you don't know how to deal with this issue? You are in the right place. Welcome to the video Money Matters. In 2012, my first month salary in a MNC was around 11,000 rupees for 20 days. Today I fall in the 30% tax slab. In this journey, I wasted a lot of money, but it is gradually decreasing without compromising my lifestyle. Many people with their first salary like to buy things for family, save or give treats to their close people. But I gave only 2000 rupees to home and spent 7000 on a useless computer processor upgrading and led a very difficult life for the rest of 29 days. It is a common experience to feel that we have less control on our income. This happens because of the lack of knowledge to handle our finance, and many intelligent people will never give advice. Whether it is a 1 rupee or 1 lakh rupee, every rupee counts, and it is important to know what is happening to your finance and how you are taking care of it. Because finally it is your money. To take away your stress on finance and to build a personal wealth, I am going to talk about small steps for budgeting and money management. Watch this video till the end. I will share my personal and simple to use money tracker with you. I will assure you that after watching this video and following baby steps, there will be a big change in your life. Let's get into action. Busting the myths of budgeting. When we hear the word budgeting, the common thoughts run in our mind are: preparing a budget means you cannot spend. If it is budget, it needs to be straight. Budgeting is only for the rich. People don't need budgets. Budgeting is boring and many more. Apart from viewing the budgeting as a negative process, consider that creating an expenditure plan will permit you to spend your additional income in any way you like. The hard work that is done in the initial days would not go waste, as you are able to see the results before you. A budget with flexibility permits spending money on an expense in the current month that is defined for the next month. Budgeting procedure also helps families with an extra amount after saving and investing and to choose how they want to spend their additional cash. Something that is useful can never really be boring. Don't take it too seriously and you will realize how interesting it really is to prepare a budget. It is a great idea to prepare a budget if you have a loan, no doubt. But even if you don't, you still need to prepare a budget for yourself. It is better to start when you have no loans, as you can remain prepared when you actually do incur some. Step 2. Net income, expenses and budgeting. All extra income such as income from the rentals, income generated from the self-employment, income sources from the interest or dividend and others should be included in the total net income calculation. The next step is to list and write down all your noticeable and hidden expenses and categorize them into following 4 groups, which are fixed expenses, for example rent, mortgage, etc. Flexible expense, for example food, utilities, gas, etc. Intermittent expense, for example insurance related to car, bike, medical, membership renewal, etc. And optional expense, holidays, personal gifts, entertainments, etc. Consider your expenses. Define what percentage of your income you want to spend on your expenses. Let's assume that your take-home salary is around 50,000 per month. For example, allocating 30% on housing, 10% on utilities, 15% on food, and similarly to other categories. Check on where you can cut your unwanted expenses to save more money. But saving money is not enough if you wish to increase your monthly income and plan for your retirement. So if you earn 20,000 rupees a month and spend 15,000 rupees, then you are left with a surplus of 5,000 rupees. Similarly, if you earn 20,000 rupees and spend 25,000 rupees, then you are left with a deficit of 5,000 rupees. That deficit is your loss and it is important that you correct your budget. Steps you must adopt to prepare your budget are: Step 1. Prepare. Collect all your salary statements, other income statements, bills, receipts, etc. All of these are required for you to formulate your budget, and you must ensure that each and every slip is collected and assembled before you sit down to do the needful. Step 2. Tables. Start by drawing out basic outlines and then divide it into 4 headings. The first one is named incomes and the next one to it is income amount followed by expenses and then expense amount. Step 3. Incomes. The first column to be filled out is known as income column. As you saw before, you will have incomes coming from different sources, including your salary, your portfolio investments, and your passive incomes. All of these need to be recorded one after the other and the respective amounts mentioned next to their names. Step 4. Expenses. The next column to be filled out is known as the expenses column. The expenses column is where you add in all the expenses that you incur. This can be a monthly list of all the places where you pay money to avail products or services. And you must also add in certain other incomes that are exclusive to you. Step 5. Surplus. Once you fill out all your incomes and expenses, Write down the total of the income first, followed by the expense. If you are left with a positive value, then that is your surplus. This surplus is your profit and that which you can invest wherever you like. Most people prefer to transfer it to their savings account. Step 6. Deficit. Remember that you might not always be left with a surplus. Once you tally your incomes and expenses, you might get a deficit, where your expenses are much higher than your incomes. That will cause you to remain with a deficit or a loss. But don't worry, as it is fine to have a loss. It just indicates that you are overspending and need to wise up. You can do so by cutting down on unnecessary expenses that you indulge in. Your first goal will be to make the incomes and expenses columns match, and then start reducing the expenses further to create a surplus for yourself. After getting a surplus amount, you must decide on investing for the short term or for the long term. Next step is to follow up on your budget. It is extremely important. If you don't, then you won't know whether or not you are on the right track. I know it will be very difficult for you to take your budget seriously, especially at the very beginning. You will think if it is worth the effort, or you are better off without preparing yourself a budget. Here, you must understand that your budget will prevent you from overspending your valuable money and leave you with enough for your retirement. So yes, it is extremely important part of your financial routine and you must prepare a budget without fail. Step 3. Analyzing and monitoring your budget. If your monthly income surpasses your monthly expenses, you should encourage yourself and find a way to save or invest the additional income. A need is an absolute necessity and you simply cannot do without it. So it is compulsory that you undertake the process and not skip it. But a want is different. Humans can want a number of things and end up wasting money unnecessarily. So cutting down on wants is always a good plan as opposed to cutting down on a need. If you don't put into efforts to correct your errors, then nobody else will do it for you. Step 4. Balancing checkbook and credit cards. Be sure to record all transactions including ATM, Visa, check card transactions and deposits. Log into your account and check online. Your credit cards are the worst enemies when it comes to repaying your loans. They will pull you down and make it impossible for you to increase your savings. The rate of interest will be supremely high in terms of 48% per annum compared to the savings interest of 3% per annum. And your cards will literally drain all your money from your accounts. The first thing you should work towards is to pay off your debt. Step 5. Wealth management options and experts. Tax-saving investment options are available to those who are able to spend time to take advantage of them. If you approach the right advisor, they will carefully assess prior year tax filings to identify areas to consider, which can include NPS, PPF, mutual funds, and home loans. Protecting your wealth is not only important for you but also for your family members and those that are part of your business. But it is next to impossible to do everything for yourself and you must employ a professional to help you out. These professionals are trained to help individuals manage their wealth. These wealth managers can be either found online or you can approach a bank to help you out. My Money Tracker. After failing multiple times to track my expenses for years, I created this simple to use money tracker using Google Sheet. This document can be updated easily in seconds using a web browser or a Google Sheet app. It is free to use and the link of this document is mentioned in the video description. Before filling, it is recommended to duplicate the whole sheet in your Google Drive instead of doing a copy and paste. This tracker has 4 sections: balance, income, expense and summary. The pie chart shown refers to the summary table. Enter the values only in the income and expense section. Expenses must be categorized using the pull-down menu in the first column for automatically updating the summary table. Categories are defined in the column A of sheet 2. Here we can add and delete categories. Example, to add a shopping category, just enter in the column A. It will get updated in the sheet 1. To add more expenses, select the last white row, right-click and select Insert one above and do the adjustment in the last column. From the first table, you will clearly know the balance amount left with you. For beautification, you can also do data sorting. For this, select the required cells to sort, go to the data menu. Select sort range, pull down column to the last column, enable Z to A and press sort. Do the same for other tables. Feel free to customize this tracker for your lifestyle. The thumb rule to be followed is to make sure that you will never spend more than your income. The negative values will be shown in red color with parentheses. My final advice to you is to make sure that you pay towards your loan as high as possible, like more than 60% of your income, to live a life with freedom. And in the process of saving, do not compromise on your and your family happiness. Please do watch my other videos. For more finance and informative videos like this, do subscribe to this channel, like, comment and share. Be the wise rabbit. Thank you.